What's going on, Mongs? It's me, SemiMong, and today we are back on Crowfall. As you can see, there is only 5 days, 6 hours remaining of this campaign world, and since the last video, the servers have actually reset. They are continuing on with the trial servers, so as you can see in the top left, Trial of Vulcan. But unfortunately, in true SemiMong style, since the last video and since the last server, I've pretty much lost all of my armor and my weapons. So if I go into my equipment, the advanced armor set that I had, and the advanced weapons that I had, and the other few sets of advanced weapons that I had stored up, I crafted them and then left them in the local bank, and of course the servers reset. I was at work, so I couldn't get back to put them in my spirit bank, and yeah, I lost it all. And once again, I am a little bit slow to jumping back onto this server. It's only 5 days remaining. So what I'm going to do in today's video is try and get your opinion, hopefully in the comment section down below. Be sure to leave a comment on a playstyle and discipline setup that I've got planned and just planned in my head for when I reach max level with this Gwynesian duelist. And until that time, I'm just going to have to use the one lonely mining potion and the few picks that I have got to sort of stack up my resources again. We have got enough ore there to actually create a new advanced weapon, so I might go ahead and do that. But I need to get back to some leather, some skinning. I need to get some leather and hide to make a new armor set. And of course we need to gather more rare resources to try and make a better advanced weapon. But that is all for me to do in my spare time. But for today's video, as I said, I want to go through my discipline setup and see what you guys have to say about it. So be sure to comment down below and get involved. But this is all restricted at the moment because I'm not max level. I'm only level 16. Of course, you need to be level 20 to unlock both of your major discipline slots, so be sure to check back to the channel or subscribe in the future for when I put this plan into action. Go out, try and take down some opposing faction members, PvP, fighting some mobs, getting some gold on the go, gold grinding. But yeah, what I'm trying to focus with on this playstyle is dexterity for critical hit chance and then pip regeneration. So if I go into my combat, you can see at the moment in the bottom right I've got no pips, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm trying to focus on pip generation and critical hit chance, and I'm going to try and tie it in to the 2 skills that you get on the duelist as a standard toolkit. These are the 2 standard skills that you get as a duelist without having to equip any other disciplines. Of course, disciplines can give you active skills, but these are the ones that you get from the beginning and through working through your talent tree. That is Pepperbox Shot and Impale. Now of course Flintlock Shot does come into this as well, but it's not an ability like these two that you have to spend pips on, so the more pips you spend, the more effective the ability is going to be. And we're mainly trying to stack the critical hit chance and use it with Impale. As you can see, compared to Pepperbox Shot at 5 pips, Impale does a ton more damage, and it actually does damage over time as well through a bleed effect. And at 5 pips, with my current critical hit damage, I'm able to like crit for 1000, 1500, and you can definitely push that up further. Of course, I'm really sort of not at the max progression I could be on this character. The only sort of effective use from Pepperbox Shot is the fact that it actually stuns targets at 5 pips. So let's get into this. For the first 2 disciplines, I've chosen Careless Whisper and Found Resources for my miners. Now Found Resources just returns me to 2 pips when I enter Stealth, so I can go into Stealth and it will generate 2 pips for me. Of course, I'm looking to have as many pips as I can before I initiate a fight to be able to open the fight or initiate a fight with the most effective Impale or Pepperbox Shot that I can do. I want as many pips as I can pre-fight to open the fight with a big damaging skill. Now Careless Whisper, unfortunately I don't like the description on Careless Whisper here. It says passive, oh no, that's Found Resources, sorry. It says here, basic attacks buff crit hits. But if I go into my skills here, where is it? What you have to actually do is do 5 basic attacks, and then you'll get a stack of Empowered Whispers, which increases your critical hit chance by 10 and critical hit damage by 10. So it's kind of a little vague, just saying basic attacks buff crits. It should say it should like refer to the buff that you get after the 5 hits pretty much. Now these 2 on their own aren't really major. Found Resources of course just returns me to 2 pips, and because I've got 2 pips, I'm not going to be opening a fight with 5 basic attacks. I'm going to only be opening it with say 3 basic attacks, but I'll run through more of that in just a minute. And then because I've only done 3 basic attacks to get my 5 pips, I'm not going to get that stack of Careless Whisper, and that's where the 2 major disciplines come into play. Now what we've got here is we've got Agent Provocateur as the first one, and I'm actually using 3 of these abilities to help me out. So if I slot this into major, I'm going to have to slot that back out in just a second. But yeah, once I reach level 20, this won't be a problem. Now, what Agent Provocateur does, and for the first one, it has preparation. Allows you to plan your attack immediately after entering stealth, recovering 1 pip if you don't have one, and you gain a pip every 30 seconds. Now, unfortunately, this doesn't stack with found resources, so if I just go in and get rid of my pips here, go back to my harvesting, and then return into stealth, you can see I've still only got 2 pips. But what I'm gaining from this is the ability to say, before I initiate a fight, put myself into a better position. So take 30 seconds, see what my target is doing. Are they in combat gear? Are they out to PvP? Have I found a gatherer that's on his own, it's just solo gathering? I want to be able to recon the area in the situation, and by the time I've done that, should be on 3 pips. I believe 30 seconds is enough just to see what the situation is before you initiate the fight. Now obviously I'm not going to wait a whole minute and a half to get 5 full pips and then initiate a fight, because I don't want to be in stealth for a minute and a half just lingering around, but I am using it just for that 1 pip after the 30 seconds. Next on Agent Provocateur, we've got Stink Bomb, stealth, target area to stun, and moderate corruption. Now I'm not too worried about the corruption. What I'm using this for is to be able to initiate a fight while I'm still in stealth and stun my target. So if I pop out a stealth and the target's not stunned, they could have their chance to use their dodge roll or just movement ability and easily get away. But if I initiate a fight and I can stun them before I even popped out of stealth, yes, they will know that I am there. Yes, they will know that I'm currently about because I've stunned them. But it allows me that just dire extra second to get out of stealth and have them stunned and not give them the chance to actually get away. I actually needed to slot in preparation down on my stealth tray. Completely forgot about that. So yeah, Stink Bomb is just an initiating ability. And then finally we've got Lay Low, stealth and heal over time. I'm sort of just using this as a backup. So if the fight's going lopsided, if it's a one-sided battle and I'm losing, I can try and run away, get into stealth, and then while I'm in stealth I have some form of health regeneration to heal me up and hopefully survive whatever fight I'm in. And then for the second major, we've got Black Mask. Now I'm going to explain what I've been using Black Mask for, and then go through the rotation and how it's all going to work. Once again, unfortunately, I can't put this into action, but it's actually a fairly simple sort of a just stun, rotation, routine thing. And having Black Mask allows me to take use of a critical hit rating over Careless Whisper, which we'll still use in a fight, because Black Mask has Shadows Linger, critical hit chance increased after losing stealth. And if I actually go on to this, you can see that your critical hit chance is increased by 50% for the first 3 seconds after being removed from stealth. So what I've got in my head here is, of course, as you can see now, I'm actually on 3 pips. So after the 30 seconds of me just reconning the target, not initiating, just looking out, finding the best position, I can then go ahead and use the Agent Provocateur Stink Bomb to stun my target. I can then go ahead and pop out of stealth and use Flintlock Shot to get the final 2 pips that I need, so I would be on 5 pips. Now of course, because I'm on 5 pips, I'm not going to have the Careless Whisper stack, because I'm on 5 pips without even using a basic attack. So that's not going to come into play, but I'm unable to initiate the target, stun the target, and be on 5 pips within a second of coming out of stealth. And because I've come out of stealth, I've got a 50% chance to crit. And then of course I can then go ahead and either Pepperbox Shot with those 5 pips and re-stun the target, but with that 50% increased crit chance, it may be better to do an Impale and then do a 5 pip Impale, hopefully crit with that increased crit chance, do big damage and get some damage over time effects going off on the target. But unfortunately there is a few nodes in the talent tree that sort of change up how I want this to work. So as I've said, I've stunned my target from the Agent Provocateur Stink Bomb. I'm on 5 pips from the preparation and the found resources disciplines, and because of the Flintlock Shot, so I can use the best effective skill that I want. But when I level up and reach max level to the Dirge passive, which not only increases piercing and crushing damage, which Pepperbox Shot is crushing damage and Impale is piercing damage, it will increase the damage that they can do. We also get these 2 abilities here, Gut Wound and Explosive Shot. Explosive Shot reduces the target's piercing armor by 25%. So I'm going to have to pop out of the fight with my 5 pips and 50% increased crit chance, but I'm going to use it on Pepperbox Shot, so I'm stunning the target, popping out, and then re-stunning the target at 5 pips with Pepperbox Shot, which then actually increases the damage that Impale will do because it reduces their armor against piercing damage. So that's where the 5 basic attacks are going to come in for Careless Whisper. I would stun my target in stealth, pop out of stealth, use explosive shot, use pepperbox shot to then restun the target. All of this should be done within 3 to 4 seconds, popping out flintlock for 5 pips, explosive shot to enhance the next pepperbox shot, at which point I can use those 5 pips that I gained from stealth to pepperbox shot my target, re-stun them and reduce their piercing armor, and at which point I'll need to do 5 basic attacks. And because of the 5 basic attacks, I'm going to get the Careless Whisper stack, which will then increase my critical hit chance by 10%. So unfortunately my Impale is not going to take use of Black Mask Shadows Linger, but it will still get a 10% increased critical hit chance after I've restunned the target, and it's still going to do a ton more damage because pepperbox shot is going to reduce their piercing armor. And then to top it all off, once I've done those 5 basic attacks, I've gained my Careless Whisper stack for an increased critical hit chance and damage, which is kind of a plus because Black Mask Shadows Linger only increases critical hit chance. I know it only increases critical hit chance by 10%, Careless Whisper, but it also increases damage. So combining pepperbox shot, reducing piercing armor, I'm going to have more critical hit damage if it does manage to crit. So that's why we're stacking dexterity to try and make our base critical hit chance the highest it can be, plus that extra 10%. And then when I finally impale them with that 5 pip impale, it's further going to stun them for a 3rd time. Gut Wound enhances Impale to inflict stun when performed using 5 pips. So to sort of sum this up, I'm going to be initiating the fight by being in stealth. Because I'll be in stealth, I would have 2 pips from found resources, and then 1 pip after 30 seconds and sort of assessing the situation, whether it's a PvPer or a gatherer, and I would gain that extra pip from preparation. I can then stun my target with Stink Bomb, pop out of stealth, which would give me 50% increased chance to crit, and then attack my target with Flintlock Shot, giving me the 5 pips that I need. I can then follow that up with an explosive shot, which will enhance the next pepperbox shot at 5 pips, not only stunning the target again, hopefully within 3 or 4 seconds of doing that initial stun with Stink Bomb, but also reducing their piercing armor damage. That's when I go ahead and do 5 basic attacks, which is the part of the fight I'm the most vulnerable. The target's not stunned, they've just been stunned by pepperbox shot, but they're not going to be stunned for the point I can actually get 5 basic attacks off. I'll only be able to get 2, maybe 3, so after those initial 3 basic attacks, they're going to be wandering around, retaliating, trying to escape. But once I've got those 5 basic attacks off, I can then go ahead and do an Impale, which would not only have increased damage from reducing the armor of the target from the previous skill pepperbox shot, but it's also going to do increased critical hit damage as well if it does manage to crit with that extra 10%. So I'm going from a stun to a further stun, which will leave them with a bleed over time effect, and from there, I've sort of not planned it out in my head. That's why I'm making this video. Of course, I've kind of messed up this campaign world, this server, and since the last one, actually losing all of my armor and my weapons and whatnot. So I'm going to spend this weekend, it's currently Thursday, hardcoring it, no-lifing it, neckbearding it, going out, gathering a ton of ore, getting myself re-geared and trying to push myself not only to level 20 to unlock that next major discipline slot, but level 25 or potentially 23, 24. I'd need level 25 to max it out to Dirge, but I'm sort of focusing on explosive shot and gut wound. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I would love to hear your thoughts, whether you've played Crowfall, whether you played the duellist, or whether you're just an avid gamer fan and you've not played Crowfall, but you may know a thing or two about MMOs and stats and playstyles and whatnot. And be sure to check back to the channel or subscribe in the future where I put this to the test, get some PvP action, and hopefully it works out for me. But yeah, be sure to check the description for links to my game on Redbubble and Amazon stores, gamer gifts for all ages and all types, and thank you for all of the support, and I shall see you in the next video.